Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, we'll be discussing about the different types of SCSI controllers that are available in VMware vSphere 7.x and when to use and which type of controller we need to configure. So all this we will be discussing in this video. So first of all, what is SCSI controller and their types, and why SCSI controller selection is very important when you build a VM or the type of application you are using deploying on the VM. For example, if it's a database server, what is the recommended SCSI controller we need to use, and next is we will discuss about storage controller compatibilities, and later we will do a lab to how to add a SCSI controller or how to change a SCSI controller based on the requirement. So I have split that this lab into two sessions. In this video, we'll be just discussing about the SCSI controllers, type of SCSI controllers, limitations, everything, and then we will do a lab like how to add and how to change a controller from one type to another type. That we will be doing in this video, and in my second video, we'll be looking at the how to add a new paravirtual controller while driver while building a new machine. So so I have split this video and we will go with along with like reference to that. So in this video, like, we'll discuss like types of as I said, we'll discuss about the types of SCSI controllers all. So what is SCSI controller and their types? That is our first question. So SCSI controllers are used by virtual machines to access SCSI disks as well as devices such as CD-ROM drives. So SCSI controllers are added automatically when we build a new machine or a new VM. So by default, when you build a Windows or Linux or any box, so if it is a desktop version of a virtual machine like Windows 10 or Windows 2016 or 12 or anything, default it will be selecting LSI Logic SAS, which is by default integrated in the operating system. The driver is available in the operating system. When you build the VM, it will detect the disk and operating system will be installed. Whereas it comes to the few SCSI controllers which driver won't be available. So we will be discussing about this one by one so that you guys will understand uh, what. So so type of SCSI controllers, if you we are going to discuss about this. So I just took this screenshot of one of my machines so that it will be clear. So when you go to virtual machine settings, there you will be able to see CPU, memory, hard disk, and after that there will be a controller called SCSI controller, and the default is LSA Logic SAS. If you if you click on change type, then you will be able to see four types of controllers, that is bus logic parallel, LSA logic parallel, LSA logic SAS, VMware paravirtual. So these are the four types. So apart from that, you have one more, that is SATA controller, and its type is one type, that is AHCI. So these are the five types. So SCSI controllers are four types and SATA controller is one type. So we'll discuss one by one. So the default controller, when you choose the VM, it will be like uh, LSI LSA Logic SAS. So if you see like bus logic parallel controller, it is for server operating system. So if you try to build a desktop version, it won't be available. So and maximum SCSI controllers you can add for bus logic is 4, and you can add 15 devices, that is 15 disks or even CD-ROMs, and it supports 64-bit, and the limitation for the disk size is 2 TB VMDK. So better if you already have bus logic, you can migrate to LSA logic SAS or VMware para virtual. So if you need to add more disk space above the 2 TB, then you need to go for then another SCSI controller. So the second one is LSI logic parallel. So this is like if you build a Windows 10 or on desktops or OS or server OS, it is compatible and it is available. So formerly it was called as LSA logic. So it is also like maximum SCSI controllers you can add is 4 and 15 devices, like 15 disks can be added. So in the olden days, like it used to be used, it can be used as a cluster service, like disk can be used for cluster service in 2000 Windows 2008. So if it comes to the next one is LSA Logic SAS, and this is the one which is selected by default, and this controller is compatible for server as well as desktop operating systems, and minimum hardware requirement for this is hardware 7, and it we can add 4 SCSI controllers plus each controller support 15 devices, that is 15 disks, and it can be also used for Windows 2008 cluster. Sorry guys, I got a call. So yeah, so we are discussing about LSI. We discussed about LSI Logic SAS, and the next one is uh, VMware Para Virtual SCSI controller, which supports server, so it won't support desktop. So minimum requirement is hardware 7, and we can add 4 Para Virtual SCSI controllers for a VM, and it supports 15 disks, and mainly we will be discussing about this Para Virtual SCSI controller. So in this video, so this is like both LSI Logic SAS and VMware Para Virtual Disk. Both mostly both serve the same level of support. So frequency. So thing is like uh, Para Virtual SCSI controller. Uh, it is designed by VMware for to support a lot of IOPS, like high IOPS. So that is the reason most of the time we will be using this Para Virtual SCSI controller for database servers and huge database transaction servers. So and actually VMware doesn't support to use Para Virtual SCSI controller for OS drive, that is C drive, because the driver itself if you see it won't be available when before VMware tools is installed. So if you use a C drive as a Para Virtual SCSI controller, what happens is in any case if you need to uninstall VMware tools, if you uninstall it, then the driver will go away, and C drive while booting, when you reboot the server, C drive will the operating system will look for the driver, and it never boot up. So that is the reason they won't recommend, and there is a fix, like we can integrate the Para Virtual SCSI controller disk drivers in the uh, while installing the VM. We can integrate with the OS, like we can, while installation, when you install the disk, uh, you need to add the driver. Then in that scenario, even though if VMware tools is not available, uh, VM will boot. So that process I will be explaining in my next video. For this video, what we can do is like uh, we will see like how to change the controller from SCSI SAS to Para Virtual. So things like you need to remember is like when VM is power on, you cannot change the controller. So let me show that. So it is disabled at that time. If you try to change it, it won't allow you. So there is no option at all. See, so you can't do anything. And I will show for another machine. So if you go to this machine and edit settings, it is powered off machine. So here you will be getting the option to change the controllers. So generally what so if for that you need to power off the VM, and you need to do the you need to add the controller. So let me log in and show something before we do it. So if you go to device management, you can see that SAS driver is already installed. Storage controller here, LSI adapter sorry SAS is already installed. So it will be by default, it will be added to OS, so that is the reason it's available. And you didn't find that paravirtual disk is paravirtual SCSI controller driver is not visible. So I will shut down the VM and we'll change it. So there is some steps to be followed when you are doing it in production. So what happens is if you directly change the SCSI controller from LSI to paravirtual, what happens is when you power on, the system will go to BSOD, blue screen of death, because the driver is not available for the operating system. That is the reason it will go to BSOD, as it didn't find the driver. So uh, we need to follow some process where, like, we need to add this additional SCSI controller before that. So actually, like, if you see here, disk 1 is C drive, where it is SCSI controller 0. Disk 2 is also SCSI controller. So you can do it directly by selecting here and change it to new controller by adding a new controller, but that is not recommended because it will go to BSOD. So you need to go to add new devices and then add a new SCSI controller. So new SCSI controller is added. So here it is default LSI SAS. So change it to VMware paravirtual. Then go back, add a new device, add a new hard disk. So I will make it 1 GB and change the SCSI controller for this to new SCSI controller, that is paravirtual. Click OK. Following this process, there won't be any impact. So it required 2 reboots for this. So if you go here and see, this is paravirtual and our disk 4 is now SCSI controller 1. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll power on the VM. So if you directly, without adding a new controller and a new disk, if you do directly change the controller for existing drives, definitely you'll see an BSOD. So I'm not sure if going forward maybe VMware will find a solution to do it directly, but for now we need to follow the process which I'm showing. So server is coming up, so it's up now. So we'll log in and see. So this process is for the servers already built and existing in the environment. So if you are going to build a new template or a new virtual machine, you can uh, follow the process which I'm going to show in next video. So I will before let's see. So if you go to device manager, we already added the para virtual SCSI controller, so we'll check whether it is available or not. See, it is available before it is not available, so just go to disk management. So new disk is available now. So here so this is a new disk. We'll just no need to do all this, but once the driver is visible there, you can go ahead and we can go ahead and do the next steps. So here the drive of 1 GB is there, so I will make it offline. So we are going to delete the disk. So turn off the server again, shut down. Server is down now, so go ahead and change the existing drives to paravirtual. Even we can change that controller which is there, the SCSI 0. So this is LSI logic, so we will convert it to paravirtual now. Click OK. Once this is done, I will move all disk excluding OS disk. So the disk I will change it to, no need to change it as we already changed the controller itself. So if you want to move it to a second controller, then you need to go to the disk and you need to change the controller. So just for demonstration I'm showing this. So just need to select the SCSI controller one and click OK. So the remaining 3 and 4, 4 is on SCSI controller 1 and 3 is on SCSI controller 0. So nothing we can do, nothing we need to do it. So we already changed the SCSI controller driver to paravirtual. So just click OK. Later you can delete the second one while after moving the all drives to SCSI controller 0. You can delete this one, or even I can change it right away, and I will delete it later. So I'm just changing it to controller 0. This one also, it's already there. Okay, fine. So disk 2. Okay, we are done. Just save it and just power on the machine now. So it's getting power on now. See, so here The mistake we done is like I forgot that the C drive uh, is on SCSI controller 0. So this is the problem, you will get it. So let's turn off. So be sure what you're doing. So here the disk one is on it's on SCSI controller 0, which I forgot that, and I changed it to the para virtual, which caused the issue. So we'll change it to iSCSI SAS, and the remaining disk we'll change it to iSCSI controller 1. So this is a lab, so it's okay to do all whatever we want, but if it is production, you may lose the data and may cause some issues. So make sure note down the proper things what has to be done, and be cautious while doing such type of things. So this is a simple example how if we do something wrong. So we change it, and now we'll try to turn it on again. So server is up now. As I said, the SAS logic controller, which is a default driver, will come with the operating system. That is the reason it come up immediately. So we'll check. Device management as well as disk management. So here, few disks are able to see, few disks are offline. So we'll make them online, and we need to run a command so that next time whenever you reboot the server, the disk should not go offline. For that, there is a command to run that will do it using the PowerShell. So here SCSI storage controller, we are able to see the both. Okay, go to PowerShell. And run the command. Okay, so command is set dash storage storage settings, type a new disk, policy online all. So running this command, what happens is okay, some problem, need space I believe. So running this command, whenever machine reboots, all disk will be online. So once you change the paravirtual, once you change the disk to paravirtual SCSI controller, you need to run this command. So I will put this command in my video description. So this is the process you need to follow, and as I said, make sure we see that the live demo that when we change the C drive, it went to BSOD. So make sure that C drive is on LSA SAS, so SAS logic, and so if you see the VMware articles for this, like if you go here, I want to just show this, like I just referring to articles before. So here if you see VMware says that remember that after configuring the boot disk to use paravirtual SCSI controller, if you uninstall VM tool, the VM will fail to boot successfully as it no longer has the required driver installed. So and even we saw that after changing the controller it got BSOD. So even if you directly add without adding a new disk, it will happen. So it's a good example. So these are the steps you need to follow. So I can share this VMware article. Thanks to VMware for providing such a wonderful article. I will share this link in my video description so that you guys can follow the steps. And in my next video, I will show how to integrate paravirtual disk controller driver while installing operating system. So thanks for watching, and please do subscribe my channel. Bye bye.